All right, guys, we'll get started here in just a moment. We're just going to wait for a few more people to pile in. So, how's everyone doing today?
Not too bad.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Fan-friggin-tastic. How about that?
Oh, fan-freaking-tastic. That's even like, what, 2 times or 3 times better?
3.
All right. Let's see here. No one's showing up, so we'll go ahead and get started.
We got one person watching.
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and start with the intro.
Yep. How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to Collecting Rarities. This is your host, Raynor, and today I'm joined by 2 lovely personalities. Would you care to introduce yourselves in order of on the screen?
Hey guys, my name is Zach, the star of the show. Just kidding. Clearly, Seth is the star. Everyone knows this.
Obviously.
It's a battle for second place at this point.
Why do you always sound so crispy? Hey guys, this is Zach. Like, I can't do that.
It's like I have one thing that I say really good, and it's that one thing. Everything else hit or miss, right? That I've gotten it down to a science.
Do you practice it in the mirror? Do you like stand there and you're like, hey guys?
No, there's not even a mirror needed. I just practice it. I can hear.
Okay.
You know?
He does it. He does it every night before he goes to bed. Otherwise, he can't sleep.
Right, that is right.
Do you find that it kind of spills over into like regular life? You answer the phone. Hey guys, oh shit, sorry. Hello.
Wow, Jesus, you butchered it. You need to practice it more. No, I don't know. It's kind of weird because, I feel like if you watch like old school Yu-Gi-Oh, there's like Yugi and then there's like Yami Yugi, and like that's how I am. Like I have like podcasting Zach and then like regular Zach. Regular Zach is like real awkward. But then when I fucking play some Yu-Gi-Oh, turn into Yami Zach, and I get the voice. We talk about all the time the podcasting voice. You gotta have your voice when you podcast. Right?
You have a cool transformation with a big gold pyramid on your chest there.
Basically.
Awesome. Well, hello, Eddie Mendez. What's going on, man? All right. Before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsor, Watto Scrapyard, for sponsoring this episode of Collecting Weekly. What can you say about Watto? What a guy. He has done some amazing work, continues to do amazing work, and he pumps out a new sculpt, gosh, like every week at this point, almost every day.
Yeah, it's getting to be like every day. Everything. He like pumps something out, and I'm like, wow, damn, that was yesterday, and you already have a new one today? Holy shit.
Like the new episode of the Mando will drop, and like 3 hours later, he's like, oh, I got this character from the Mando. It's like, the fuck?
Yeah,
literally just happened.
When episode 2 dropped, he already had the lizard in like 3 hours. It was like, what the hell?
Ridiculous.
So, anyways, hello, Mario Cortez. All right, so how's everyone doing today?
Doing pretty good. I think you wanted to plug the giveaway that we're doing in the middle of the show.
Yes. We are doing a giveaway today. So stick around for that because it's only going to happen once, and I don't like repeating myself.
You want to tell what are we giving away today, and what are the terms of the giveaway?
So the terms of the giveaway here are going to be, first of all, only 1 entry per person, and you have to wait until I say go. If you do more than 1 entry, you are disqualified. But basically, it's going to be a guessing a number between 1 and 30. Closest number without going over wins. And the prize is going to be contingent today on how many people are here. So share it, man. Share the stream. Get more people in here. The more people, the better the prize.
Yeah, I think you said if it's under 8, it's a Malik pop.
Yep, right. Yeah.
And if it's over 8, do you want to show them what it is if it's over 8 people watching?
Yeah, real quick.
Look at that. Only the finest for collecting rarities.
Custom Ultra Saber.
And I'm going to guess what number it is also.
No.
What?
I'm just giving the number, man.
That's some bullshit.
You know what? See, here's the deal. I know the number, so if you private message me and pay me $5, I will give it to you.
Private message me.
I'm trying to
And
stop
it's
corruption, and
50.
there's just no stopping it. There's just no stopping it with you people.
What do you mean, you people?
That's what I said. You people. All right. So this last weekend, I went to the Renaissance Fair, and there's a nice little photo of me. I apologize, my photographer sucks. But
Jesus.
Looking jacked.
yeah, I went as a crusader. I have a little sword on my back there. I don't know how you can tell very well in that picture. But one thing that you will find at the Ren Fair is there are all kinds of different rarities. Just tons.
COVID, the plague,
Yeah. They actually had signs about that saying
leprosy,
the plague while I was there.
Jesus.
They actually had mask-free zones, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna avoid those, like the plague."
Hey, there you go.
But no, I didn't have my phone on my person at that day, so I couldn't take any pictures. And unfortunately, my photographer failed to take some pictures. But there are a lot of different rarities there. I want to start by talking about a few of them, like pipes, for instance. Hand-carved pipes. I saw this guy who had one that was made out of bone, and it was carved to look like a dragon's tooth.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can we clarify that these are only tobacco pipes?
Yes, only tobacco pipes. If you guys
would never smoke anything else out of it. Only tobacco, obviously.
Marinara pipes.
Yep.
Well, don't ask, don't tell. So, yeah, they had pipes. They had one that was carved at literally to look like a dragon's tooth, and it was made out of bone, and it was just this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What's going on, Sean? Nice of you to join us. So, we had another woman there who was selling tankards, like little mugs that you have. They were hand-carved out of mahogany and all kinds of different fancy woods. And I asked her, I said, "How much are these?" There was one nice one there that said Zachary. And I looked at the price tag, and I'm about to shit my pants. It was about $80.
Well, I mean, hand-carved. If you do something well, you don't do it for cheap.
Oh, definitely. But
also, you can probably find a pretty nice one on Amazon for a lot cheaper.
Oh, yeah. Or Etsy, for that matter. Etsy.
That's true.
So they had, of course, it's a Ren Fair. They have people selling swords. They have people selling dragons and everything else. But have either of you ever been to a Ren Fair? Can you all comment on what I'm talking about here?
Brown people don't go to Ren Fairs, my guy. Put that out there. Latin people don't go to Ren Fairs. All right.
Are you sure? I saw a fair amount.
I have been to Mexico though, which is like its own Ren Fair.
That's fair.
So where was this Ren Fair at?
It's in Houston, of all places. It's like an hour outside of Houston.
Wow. Cool. So it was in Houston. Like, how did you feel being in Houston with Houston being hit so bad with COVID? Like,
honestly, I didn't go anywhere near Houston.
So you can imagine people are like driving over from Houston.
Yeah, and I wore my mask, and I had a big old thing of hand sanitizer in my pocket. And every 10 minutes, I was like, "Okay, just do this. I don't care what people think."
Like, can I spray you with Lysol?
Yeah, exactly. So those boots that I was wearing, though, gave me a pretty gnarly blister, which ended the day pretty early, which sucked. Oh my gosh! I was hobbling by the time I got out of the thing. I was like,
yeah, that's always the worst.
Oh my god!
This might be the most I don't know what the word is, but some people just fit like you look very at home here in this outfit with the belt and everything. You look so period accurate.
Yep.
Like all you need is a broadsword.
I do have a broadsword. It's on my back.
It'd be great if you had a photo.
Unfortunately, my photographers suck. Like I said, I can't get a good photo of the sword.
You can't say that about the photographer. They probably took you there. You can't. If anything, the photography thing's a two-person thing. They're trying to enjoy the Ren Fair too. They're not there just to be your personal photographer, Zachary. You gotta prompt them for photos as well.
This is true. This is true.
The blame goes both ways, my guy.
Well, and I'm this type of person. I just don't like to be photographed that often. So there's that. So one of the things I picked up at the Ren Fair here, though, was these beauties.
Okay, those are pretty legit.
So these are swords here. Are they? What does something like this cost?
So everything at the Ren Fair is negotiable. They have a price, but if you buy a lot, they'll work with you. So I bought.
Also,
I
like
wanted to
Mexico.
get this. What's that?
I said also like Mexico.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. The price is
So I wanted to get the 2 sets of the Witcher swords from the Witcher TV series. So the guy knocked off about $30 if I bought them both. And so these were still expensive as hell, though. They're still like $100.
I mean,
But-
you got 2 legit ass swords for $100. That's worth
Yeah,
it.
the one on the left there is supposed to be his monster killing sword with like the Mercury with like the Dwarvish engraving there, and the other one's just his regular I'm gonna kill you because I don't like you sword. Has anyone here seen The Witcher?
Yeah, The Witcher is badass.
I have
It
not seen
is.
The Witcher.
You
Nor
have
I
failed
played the
us.
game.
You
Look,
have
man,
failed.
I'm a busy guy. I got lots of things to
Practicing.
do
Hey guys, this is Zach in the
on my
over and over
bidet. On my bidet, practicing my one line that I say really well. And frankly, I nailed it. All right.
He's sitting there with his phone, like, yo.
I don't have time to watch The Witcher. All right.
Yeah, you know that video where Taylor Swift is singing into her hairbrush? That's Zachary on the bidet on his phone.
Yes.
Basically.
Do you actually have a bidet?
No, I do. Do you not watch the show? We talk about it all the time. It's fucking
No.
fantastic.
I have missed a few episodes. I'm sorry.
Jesus, Seth, letting the side down. Yeah, I do, and it's fantastic.
I also have a bidet. I have never used it.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Where's it at? In your master bedroom?
Yeah.
Dude, my guy. I assume it's a good one, right?
Is it?
Because you don't cheap out. So
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty
Um,
nice, but
does your wife use it or who uses it?
no, nobody uses it. The
Why
kids
did you-
play with it.
Like
We didn't
you,
put it in. It was in the house.
it was in the house when
the
you-
house. Yeah.
my guy. When I'm pooping at your house next time, I'm going straight to the master bedroom. Dude, bidet is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I can make
we
me a
have-
close second, but
We have a Facebook user here who says Wild Hunt is so good. Yes, it is. It was an amazing game. By the way, if you're here for the giveaway, you're
We're
going
at
to need to
9.
authorize yourself on StreamYard so we can see who you are.
Yes, Facebook user. That name sounds made up.
so the Ren Fair, is it a annual thing or are they always there?
They're there for a few months every year. So I think it's like from about September to November every year.
Mhm.
And the Ren Fair is something that's interesting because so many people there work locally at the Ren Fair, but then you also have the people who like do the circuit where they'll camp out and they'll move from like Ren Fair to Ren Fair and Ren Fair and Ren Fair.
Mhm.
And they'll literally live out of a tent like 9 months out of the year.
I mean, that's really how you do it. They get the full Ren experience.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
It's a whole lot of Ren fairing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, eventually you'd want to go to the 21st century
Yeah.
at some point. We do have 10 people watching right now, by the way.
Yeah, I see that. So did someone say giveaway? Yes, we're going to be doing a giveaway here in a little bit, maybe, possibly soon,
Maybe.
rather than later. Stay tuned.
Raynor will give you his love.
Yes, my unconditional love. That is what we're giving away. No. I don't love anybody.
Wow.
I'm a cold human being.
Wow.
Thanks.
No. So while I was at looking at these swords, so they have these little shopettes set up, and each shopette's different. You have like people that sell leather armor, people who sell anything that looks like corsets or bondage gear, for crying out loud. It's really kind of freaky.
So it's like getting freaky at the Ren Fair.
Apparently, that's a thing.
It is a thing, apparently.
Cody or someone was on After Dark a few weeks ago or something, and they said like during the Ren Fair, their friend like dipped out to go hook up with somebody in a tent. That's wild.
That is wild.
I've heard stories of orgies after dark. Just saying.
We have had an orgy on Collecting Weekly After Dark, actually. Just kidding.
You've just heard stories. You've heard stories.
Dude, Raynor was there. He was busting out his broadsword.
Hey, Dr. Dilf, you know what I mean?
Gosh, please stop. Seth says overnight gets wild. Eddie says Whataburger gift card. Dude,
no, it's not going to be a Whataburger gift card.
Can we please give away a Whataburger gift card to me for being on the show? Come on, I need it.
Wait, Seth, I actually have a Whataburger Pez dispenser for you.
Okay, cool. Give it to me.
I got
Where's
you.
it at?
Well,
Where's it at?
It's here at my home, and I believe I have to check. I might have some of these bad boys.
Oh,
in fact, because Seth was coughing all over the place. I'm gonna...
I don't think that the Rona travels through the microphone.
Thank God. Thank God.
Getting things back on track here. We had when I went into this place that I bought these swords, they had all kinds of licensed replicas. I'm talking like stuff from Lord of the Rings, and anywhere from World of Warcraft to knockoff replicas like these. And they also had chainmail, and I was looking at that going, man, my armor set would look badass with some freaking chainmail. But I looked at the price tag, and I'm like, oh crud, hell no, it was like $300.
Oh my God. I mean, but getting stabbed by a sword once is way more than $300.
Yeah,
that is true.
Save on hospital bills.
All right, guys. Well, I have more to say here, but we are at our magic number, so I'm going to go ahead and get the giveaway started here, and we'll go back to the swords here in a moment because I want to make sure I don't want to tease you all. So here we go.
Can I just say you're always a tease?
I am a tease. It's one of the great joys of being me. All right, so here's the deal. No votes can be cast until I say go. And you vote multiple times, you are out, you are disqualified, and basically the way it's going to go is I've oh my! I've distributed a number amongst the co-hosts between 1 and 30. Highest guess without going over wins.
But if you get the number right, you just win, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so let me type this out. Guess the number 1 to 30. If you go over, you are eliminated closest to the number, or whoever guesses the number.
So obviously, whoever guesses
wins.
Gets it, then next would be closest.
1 guess per person.
Correct.
Starting when Raynor says go.
Go.
Okay, I was still typing, but okay. All right, so guess a number 1 to 30. If you go over, you are eliminated closest to the number, or whoever guesses the number first wins. 1 guess per person, and the winner gets the lightsaber, right? With shipping in the United States.
Yes, that is the other thing. It's going to be continental United States, and if you are overseas, you can still participate, but I'm probably just going to give you like
Eddie has the number 17. Let's do... okay, so Eddie and Mario both guessed 23, but Mario came in second, so Mario guess again.
Yeah.
We will end the drawing or the game in a minute, I guess.
Yeah, we'll set a minute timer.
Someone set a minute timer. Mario Cortez, you got to guess a different number. So we have 17, 23, 12, 13, 21. Mario Cortez needs to pick a different number, my guy. We put that in there. Mario Cortez, pick a different number, PLS. Mario picks 21. All right. So looks like a few people there. Do you want to do second place gets the pop or?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
We can do that. So we got 30 seconds. Anybody who wants
Wait, Mario, what the fuck? You put 21, then 24.
Yeah, no, only one guess, man. Pick one. Pick one.
Mario, pick one between 21. I don't know why you guessed twice. Oh no, I'm sorry. Toy Mafia picked 21. So Mario's 24 is his guess.
Okay, so
what are we looking
Mario's
at the timer right now?
Guess. 10 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I guess I'll just let you do it. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it up here. I do have the number on my phone. Let's see. Okay, so
you want to make the announcement or should I?
I'll make the announcement. Okay, so the number is closest one. The number is, I don't know if you can see that, it's 25.
So Mario wins.
Mario Cortez wins the saber, and the next person, second place, goes to. Okay, so let's think.
Somebody had 23, I remember.
Okay, so Mark Pearson comes in with 22.
So Eddie had 23.
24.
Eddie Mendez.
Yeah, so Eddie Mendez wins the pop, and then Mario Cortez with 24 wins the saber.
All right, awesome guys! You're gonna
Congratulations,
love it, Mario.
Everyone! Round of applause. Mario, just send that to me, baby.
Yeah, both of you.
If one of y'all would have messaged me, I would have given you the number for free for half the take. But no.
Both of y'all need to message me. I will not reach out to you, so please message
Mario
me after the
says,
show.
"Holy shit, thanks." Eddie says, "What?" Exclamation mark, question mark. Good giveaway. That's a way better giveaway than we do on Collecting Weekly. I just give them shit they already have. Anyways, that's great. That was fantastic.
Yep. Awesome.
What do we got next?
So we're gonna get back to swords for a minute, and then we got the mid-sponsor tag. So get ready for some Watto action going on. But so pretty much what I was saying before was they had all these different kinds of armor pieces, chainmail, all this, and it really just goes to show how much money you can spend at a place like this on stuff that you really can't get anywhere else. At least not for easy, And so Ren fairs are definitely a hub of rarities if you are into that kind of thing, because you can find some pretty obscure products.
And you better take a lot of cash.
Oh, yeah. It's expensive as all hell.
Maybe that's why they're orgies. People are selling themselves to be able to afford the Ren Fair.
It wouldn't surprise me the way some of those tavern wenches dress,
My God.
Just saying.
Bazinga.
Oh my God, man! And some of those, I was sitting on a bench when I was eating, and there was this one guy who kept screaming, "Corsets, handmade corsets, made in the USA, not that Chinese crap." And I'm like, where does this have place in the Middle East in medieval times? We didn't even know China was a thing back then.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Well, obviously you don't want a cheap Chinese corset at your Ren Fair.
This is true.
Nothing could be worse.
Yep.
This is true. Especially for your orgy, because that thing will just fall off.
Well, I mean, they might just throw you out of the orgy. You come in and the cheap Chinese shit, get out of here.
Yeah, only high class people.
Only the high class wenches.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, that's that time of the day. We want to thank our friends over at Watto Scrapyard for sponsoring this episode of Collecting Weekly. You can find them on Instagram, Watto Scrapyard, and Facebook, and eBay as well. They make 3D printed parts for some hard-to-come-by Kenner and Hasbro vehicles, as well as resin printed head sculpts of dozens of different characters. At this point, it's like hundreds.
Yeah.
In the Star Wars universe, if you don't see a character you like in their Instagram, send them a message and they can get it designed and printed for a reasonable fee. I can attest to this. I have several custom designs that he's done for me. They have turned out spectacular. I like my Lana Benico, if anyone's familiar with that.
The
And
Bo-Katan armor set was really good too.
yeah,
And with this week's episode, I mean, it's like pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I've never been prouder to have that in my collection.
Especially since they really translated the armor like almost 1-to-1 from the Clone Wars design with the helmet and everything. It's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, and I also have Ian over at Dark Side Customs working on a little project over there as soon as he can get around to it. That was custom as well, so that's going to be cool when it comes out. All right. Did they say Roman?
Time out. You were talking all this mess last episode about you coming after Dean, and I want to hear your Watto's voice. You're not getting out of it that easily. You can't come after the king and then expect to just waltz out of this without your Watto's impression for the fans to vote on.
All right, here we go.
Let's hear it.
Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. Only money.
We'll let the fans decide. We'll take a clip of that. We'll take a clip of Dean's winner. Winner gets the bragging rights for the ultimate.
Now Dean's got multiple entries, so I think I need to get another one in at the end.
I mean, by all means, go ahead. Now at the end.
Hold on. Let me clear my throat here.
Super Mario Watto scrapyard. I love it. The Italian Wattos.
Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. Only money.
I mean, that was pretty good.
I don't know. We'll have to hear them side by side. We'll have to hear like one and then the real thing and then the other. We'll make a compilation and then we'll see which one is really good. Mark says Watto sounds like he's taking a shit. Holy shit.
Is he going to use the bidet afterwards?
Always, my guy.
Do you think they have bidets on Tatooine?
Probably not. Water's a scarcity. It's a rarity.
They have moisture farms for crying out loud. I mean, you can't be shooting that shit up your ass.
Oh boy.
All right. I gotta move this and booyah. All right, Zachary, you said you wanted to have your own segment on here, so
I was invited. You're acting like I'm making demands here. I was invited to talk about my other hobby.
Don't lie. You demanded.
So we're gonna talk about watches today. It's my other thing that I collect. I collect one other thing, so I have content for another episode. But we'll talk about watches today. And before we talk about watches, I want to talk a little bit about watches because watches have been around for quite a while, and there's a lot of different ways that they're made, both material-wise and how they work. And so I wanted to touch base on a little bit of that. So the first thing is the glass surface that you look at when you look at the watch. And there's two kinds. There's glass, which is like sapphire or mineral crystal. And then there's an acrylic type, which is like, they call it hesalite or just acrylic. And the main difference between those is glass is a lot harder to scratch. But when you scratch it, it's pretty much just scratch. Like you can't really unscratch it. Hesalite, it's a little warmer in its appearance, but when you do get a scratch, you can actually polish it out. They sell this stuff called polywatch, and you just like rub it on and then you polish the watch with it. And hesalite is more crack resistant. So I have a sapphire watch that I dropped and that bit shattered. Like it just did not take that. And it was like 3 feet. It really didn't fall that far. Whereas hesalite is pretty sturdy and it'll crack, but it won't actually shatter. And that's why in this example here, this is the Omega Speedmaster Professional. They call it the Moonwatch because the one on the right is actually spec'd out for space flight. If you're in a spaceship and your watch breaks, like if you hit it against something, you don't want thousands of shards of glass floating in space or in your ship. And so because of that, this watch is flight certified. And this is the watch that is standard issue for all astronauts that go into space with NASA.
Wow.
Russian Space Force, I believe they use like Seikos and Timexes. But the NASA protocol is the Omega Speedmaster Professional. And let's go to the next slide.
Oh, of course. 1 second. There we go.
The difference also in appearance, if you look at the right slide, The Sapphire has like a little bit of a ring around it, and that ring is just based on how you machine the glass. Whereas Sapphire or hesalite or acrylic, you can actually just like mold it into that shape. And so, a lot of times with like Sapphire watches, especially this one with a raised crystal, you'll see like they call it like a milky dome around it, because that's the glass that has to like stand up at a step rather than a natural curve. Next slide.
I don't think you should be talking about your Milky Dome.
I don't know, man. Now, sapphire crystals, they are synthetic. They have a value of 9 on the hardness scale. So diamond is a 10 and sapphire is a 9. They do have pretty good scratch resistance compared to quartz or gorilla glass, though it is not impossible to scratch sapphire. On my super expensive watch, I scratched the shit out of it like the first week I had it. And it's the only sapphire crystal I have that I've scratched. But it's just super lame for that to happen.
Oh yeah, that's always sucks.
Yeah, so that one, it is like I said, but with sapphire, once you scratch it, you're pretty much just like screwed. So, it is what it is. The next thing about watches is watches have different kinds of movements. So you have quartz movements and mechanical movements. Quartz is like most watches out there, they're just battery powered. So when it dies, you just pop the battery out and you just, put a new one in. Mechanical, they run based off of like moving parts. And so they need power to do that. So you have automatic watches, which as you move throughout your day, there's a rotor that spins that powers the movement. It powers a spring, which stores that energy and then disperses it throughout the day. And then you also have manual movements, which there's no rotor and you have to spin them. Like you have to rotate the dial, or not the dial, but the little
crown.
Winding. Yeah, the crown. You have to rotate that to wind the watch. Quartz, they're a lot more accurate because they are basically just like not influenced by any amount of movement. So a quartz movement might lose like 1 second a week, 5 seconds a month, or 1 minute a year, whereas a mechanical watch will lose about 1 minute a week, 5 minutes a month, or 1 hour a year. One thing also with mechanical and quartz, like if I take a mechanical watch off, and I don't wear it for like 3 days, it's just dead. You have to constantly, there's like watch boxes that will rotate and keep that movement going. Whereas a quartz, like all my quartz watches are still running because they don't require constant movement. And I have way too many watches to like keep them all wound. Like a good watch winder is like $200 and you could probably do like 2 watches in there. But I have like 8 automatic watches, so I'm not dropping like $800 to keep those wound. So that is kind of annoying because like all of these are dead right now. Danny Lee says, you guys prefer your timepieces wind up, automatic, or quartz? I will get to that when I talk about my watches, but what do you guys prefer, if anything?
I prefer mine to be made by Apple, and
You're looking at my watch right here.
You guys are savages. DA says, that's cool. You're full of neat facts. Danny likes automatics, and Eddie says mine is a sports smartwatch. I mean,
I have a pretty legit watch, though. I mean, you have to see this thing.
What watch do you have?
Hold on, I'll take it off. Look at that. You see it?
God damn it. What's your password? Just kidding. Yeah, so going forward, automatic versus mechanical. Usually, like the top watch is a good example of a mechanical manual watch because the bottom one has to have the space for that rotor, and the rotor you can see there on the left. It's like a big plate of metal that, like, when you spin the watch, you can actually feel it and whirring around in there. Whereas a manual watch, there's no rotor. You just spin the crown and it'll charge itself. So I'll talk about my watches here. Mario says no love for smartwatches. I do have an Apple Watch. I just don't wear it that often.
Lame.
It's cool. It's
Lame.
definitely cool. But most of the watches that I have, I've purchased like for things, like specific things. So the watch on the left, it's a Seiko diver's watch. And my parents got it for me when I graduated college. and that is it's kind of a weird watch because it has a rotor in it, but it's like a quartz that gets charged with a rotor. And some of these watches that I'll show you guys, they're like kind of hybrid watches, so they're not really like all quartz and they're not really all manual. But this is a really nice watch. I've taken this diving several times. It's very plain, but I mean, it's never really let me down, and it has really decent lume. And like I said, this was a gift from my parents for graduating college, and I do like it quite a bit. But this one's, like I said, it's a bit of a hybrid because an automatic watch, the second hand will sweep like a fluid motion, whereas a quartz will tick. And so this one is an automatic watch that ticks because of that quartz that's inside of it. But because of that, it is pretty accurate. But I got that one for graduating college. The next one was the watch that I bought myself personally when I graduated college. And I've worn this watch to like every single job interview that I've ever had, and I've always gotten the job wearing it. So this is like my semi business casual watch. It's by a company called Sterling, and Sterling's kind of controversial in the watch world because they make a lot of homage watches. So they take like really popular designs of like really expensive watches. So I think the watch this one's based off of is like $100,000 watch. But they make a really nice watch that's maybe like $200. And those are called homage watches. They're super common in the hobby. But this one is a gold watch with the dial up top representing how charged the spring is. So as you rotate the crown, that number at the top will start to go up that gauge. And this is a pretty nice watch. It has a second hand dial on the bottom. And it also has what's called the display case back. So on the back, you can actually see the movement, which is pretty cool. And you can see the rotor there as well. The one on the right is also by Sterling. I had this phase where I bought like 5 Sterling watches because I was like, dude, these are fucking dope. And then I found out that no one really likes them. But this one has the unfortunate distinction of being the one that I wear whenever I go to funerals because it's black and it's just like really classy. But this is what's called the skeleton watch, so you can actually see straight through the watch to the other side. But it's a pretty cool watch. It's black. I think it's called black PVD. It's like the coating they apply to the stainless steel. And then the face of the watch is black, and then the movement is silver and gold, and the hands are blue. And this one, like I said, I usually wear it to funerals, but it's probably one of my favorite watches. I'll wear it for dates every now and then, but that's a cool watch. But yeah, Sterling is one of those brands that I really got into, but they're just not that well received by people that are serious about watches. But honestly, I don't give a fuck because I only know like one guy that's serious about watches, and he doesn't really care. The next watch I got when Victoria and I got engaged. It's a Victorinox watch. And this watch is fucking huge. It doesn't really look that big in the picture, but it's like twice as thick as most watches that I own. And it has a pretty interesting feature. The dial at the top right angle, it has an internal bezel that you can rotate, and you can use that to set a timer function. So most dive watches have that on the outside, but this one's actually built into the inside of the watch. This was like the first watch that I ever like lost sleep over. Like they had it at the store, and I was like, dude, this watch is so amazing. And once we got engaged, I bought this for myself. And it's a cool watch, but you kind of like grow as a collector, like in anything you collect. And at that time, I was like really a big fan of bulky watches. But now I kind of like cringe that I own this thing because it's just fucking huge and it's heavy. Like you can just feel this thing on your wrist, and it's just not that fun. This one also has a display case back on the back, and you can see the rotor there. But yeah, this watch is fucking huge. I like this watch. Closer. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a cool watch, but it's fucking massive. And that one has a really nice leather band. In fact, I think that's probably my favorite part of that watch is the leather band. And the lume on this watch is ridiculous. It like really can light up, like when it's dark, like this watch will be quite bright. And I think that's what it's for. It's like a camping watch. Like it's supposed to be like the company that makes Swiss Army, they make this watch. I'm trying to charge the loom here, but before I go on, do you guys have any questions about anything?
So what's your opinion on pocket watches?
I've always wanted one, but I've just never bought one. So that's the numbers light up as well, but I'm trying to charge it with this light on my phone. But the loom is pretty good on this one, and loom is basically the photo reactive material that they apply, so you can read the numbers and everything. And then the watch on the right, this is like probably my biggest regret as a watch purchaser. It's a Citizen Eco Drive. And this one, like I said, it's one of those hybrid watches. This one's actually charged by the light, like the sun. So if you charge this, like if you leave it on a windowsill for a few minutes, it's like pretty much charged 100%. This one also does have that internal bezel function. I guess I got like real into that. But this one I like a lot because it has a stopwatch built in. But the one thing that I really dislike about this one is the strap is actually built into the watch. And I'm a big fan of swapping straps on my watches, and this one you like literally can't take this thing off. And it's kind of weird because you have to actually slice the band to size it the first time. So like if you fuck up, you're just like, the watch is just useless. But this one's cool. This one, I believe it was made for like a sailing event because it has a bunch of like different flags on it. But this one I bought, I think it was for when we got our first apartment. So this is a cool watch. The next one that I want to talk about is probably like the main watch that I wear. Actually, am I missing a picture? No, I'm not. Okay. This one, my gosh, this is all out of order. Okay, so this one here, we'll talk about the left one. My grandfather gave this to me after he found out he had terminal liver cancer. And I don't really wear it that often. It's huge. Like it's like maybe like 3 times bigger than most watches I own. And I really don't know why he gave it to me. He gave it to my dad to give to me when he found out he was sick. And it's more of a sentimental watch than anything. But it's really cool. Like I don't really think I'll ever use any of the features, but it has like a built-in tide thing where you could tell like what the tide is based on where you're at. And it syncs up to like radio frequencies. So like if you fly to a different city, it'll sync up like automatically. And it's definitely a cool watch, but it's not really like my style, and that sounds bad, but I do like it. Like it's obviously very sentimental. My grandfather's passed away since then. But this is it's a I think it's a G-Shock Frogman, and apparently I think Navy SEALs rock these watches. But they're fucking huge, so I'm not even sure how they would use these. And then the next one, this is actually my most recent purchase. So I guess they're a little bit out of order. But this is a Snoopy Timex watch, and I really like Snoopy. My kid really likes Snoopy. And I really
love. I mean, Snoopy's awesome.
Yeah, I really wanted this watch last year, and I was being stupid, and I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for it to get cheaper, and it fucking sold out. And I was super pissed. And like right when it sold out, the prices went from $50 all the way to like $300 on this watch. And I was super bummed. And maybe like I talked about it on After Dark, but maybe like 2 months ago, Amazon randomly found like a dozen of these and clearanced them to like $30. And so I was able to get one. And it's a really nice watch. Timex is known for this thing called Indiglow. So the watch doesn't have any photo phosphorescent material, but when you click this button, the whole watch face lights up, and it doesn't look that bright on camera because I have a studio light here, but like in the dark, it does look pretty cool. And I'm just a big fan of the space program, and Snoopy is a big, it's a big part of like when Apollo 13 happened, the creators of Snoopy made a comic to celebrate the astronauts getting home safe. And because of that, NASA made this thing called the Snoopy Award. And so this is a homage to that, and this was for the 50-year anniversary of the lunar landing. But this is a really cool watch. It's engraved with the year 2019, and this one's neat because those numbers on the dial, they're actually printed on the glass, so they float above everything behind it. And then Snoopy's laid on top of the glass, on top of the dial as well, so it's like a real nice 3D effect. And cool. This is one of 2 Snoopy watches that this one that I have, but I want another one, and I'll show it here in a second. But the last watch that I want to show you is my Omega Seamaster. I got this for when Victoria and I found out we were pregnant with Vivi. And this watch is really cool. It has a really nice, they call it the Sea Monster on the back. Let me see if I can get that up close. But it's like the Omega Sea Monster on the back. And this watch is really cool. It's the most expensive watch that I own. But I did get it at a really good price. It was really weird. I don't really understand how I got it at that price I got it for. But this watch usually goes for... I believe it's 4,000. And the Hellsberg outlet in San Marcos, which is where I used to live, they got one, and like out of nowhere, they just said some of the outlets got them. And it's like it was a current watch, so I don't really understand how an outlet store got it, but they priced it at 2,300, and then I talked them down to 1,800, and I got that when we found out we were having our daughter. But this watch is really cool. I've bought quite a few straps for it, and I think straps are really cool because I know a lot of people that have watches, and they're like, "Oh, like I just didn't like the band, so I got a new watch." But you could just buy like a new strap and switch it out yourself, and totally change like the look of the watch. Because this one comes usually with that bracelet on the left, that steel bracelet, and it is super nice, but it is a little cumbersome. And so the first thing I did was start buying a bunch of straps for it to change out. And you can change the straps at home, or you can take it to the Omega boutique and they'll change it for you. But yeah, I highly recommend if you're getting a watch, like just buy like at least one extra band to kind of change the feel of the watch, especially if you get tired of it. But this is a cool watch. I've always said that at some point this will be my daughter's watch. But yeah, this is kind of like the watch that I wear most often. With the Snoopy being a close second. And I like this watch. It has a really cool thing. So most watches, they're coated, like the higher end watches, they're coated in what's called anti-reflective. And they're mostly coated on the inside of the glass. But this one's actually coated on the outside and the inside. So when you look at the glass, like it looks like nothing's there. But because of that being coated on the outside, it is a little more scratch. It's easier to scratch that coating than it is glass. So essentially you can really fuck it up. And that's what happened with mine. So mine has one scratch on it and it's super annoying. But when I talked to the boutique about it to get the glass replaced, it was like $600. And at that point it's like, I mean, that could buy like a really nice watch. And they kind of talked me out of it. And they're like, well, I mean, like, you know, you got that scratch doing dad things and you got that watch because you're going to be a dad. So, you know, they're like, just if you want to get it replaced, we can do it for you. But they basically were like, it's kind of like a mark of like you having worn the watch. So that's those are the watches that I have. And then the next slide is talking about the 3 watches that I want to get next. The one on the left we talked about earlier, it's the Omega Speedmaster. It's the Moon watch. A lot of people in the watch community will buy a Speedmaster that was made in the year that they were born. It's like a birth year Speedmaster thing. And for 1992, you can get those for about 1,800, whereas the new one is 5,000. So this particular watch, you can get a pretty good deal on it used. And that's something that I'm considering at some point. But it's probably a long time away. The middle watch is that other Snoopy watch that I was talking about, and I'm so butthurt about this watch. Last Black Friday, they made this big deal that this watch was going on sale at Timex, and it's like a $250 watch regularly, which isn't that expensive compared to some of the other ones I've shown. But I just didn't really want to drop like Hot Toys money on a watch. And during Black Friday, they didn't put it on sale at all. And I got super salty and I was like, fuck this, I'm not buying this watch. And like the next day it sold out and it's been sold out ever since. So they're not making that watch ever again. But that's one that I've always wanted. I really want a white dial watch because a lot of mine are pretty dark. And then the one on the right, it's called the Seiko Alpinist. And this is actually the 2020 version. They just brought this watch out, I think in April. and they added what's called the Cyclops. So if you look at the date register, there's like a bubble around it, and it's like a magnifying thing that they attach to the crystal. And this watch is fucking awesome. It has that internal bezel that rotates that I like, and it's green, which is fucking awesome. I've always wanted a white dial watch and a green dial watch, and this one you can get for about, I think it's $450. And then the one in the middle, they're actually not that expensive, but they're hard to find when they come up. But they're about $300 now, so they only went up by about $50. So those are the 3 watches that I really want. I don't know in what time frame I'd get any of these, but definitely wanting to one day at least get one of these. But
nice.
Do you guys have any thoughts, questions, opinions?
I need to get with you at some point because I have a watch that my grandmother gave me for Christmas one year, and it's like uber nice, and I just want to see what exactly, like, how good a quality it is at some point.
Yeah, and there's obviously like really nice watches out there, like Rolexes and Omegas and APs, but I mean, you can find really nice watches from almost any company. Like, it doesn't have to be like a $10,000 watch for it to be a really good watch. And I think for a while I was getting into that headspace where like, oh, I need to have like this really nice watch as like a mark of success. But honestly, like it was very toxic thinking. I do love the watch that I have, but there was a point where I had like twice as many and I had to kind of trim it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be happy to look at it, whatever you have. What about you, Seth? Do you have any questions, comments, thoughts?
I think you covered a lot. You were very informative. Thorough.
Yeah.
You should have your own watch show.
No, I'm good. I have one other idea for a podcast, but it's not about watches.
It's about Orange Theory.
No, it's definitely not about that.
It's about the Ren Fair orgies.
No, not about that. One day, maybe I'll share with the world, but there's a lot of legal stuff about it. It's like, is it even possible? Who knows, right? Got to get some lawyers on this. I don't think it's possible legally to do.
I don't think you can just have sex on a podcast. Like,
damn it. Well, I guess we're stuck with Collecting Weekly.
Yeah, which is the next best thing to sex.
The way you said that was fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, well, if anyone watching has questions about watches, my DMs are always open.
So
I know that was probably not the most exciting segment, but I've been wanting to talk watches for a bit on the show.
Hey, we're glad to have you. That was really informative. That was a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
I felt like I was not nearly as informative whenever I talked about my rarities. So, yeah, hey, way to show me up.
That's what I do, baby.
All right, well, let's thank our Patreons here. Thank you very much. Ben Porter, Griffin Campbell, Sean Fear, Ian CB, Rian Mendez, Eric Marshall, Quinn Aguirre, Lee Hernandez, King Louie, Mark Person, Dan Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Craig, Jason Nelson, Big Fern, King Zachary V, Caesar Maroquin, I apologize if I butchered that, Eddie Mendez, Eric Ruiz, Mario Cortez, Stephen Percha, again, sorry if I butchered that, Sean Yeesby, Scott Bradley, Jesse Contreras, Steve and Maria Standley. Thank you very much for your Patreon. What you do helps us continue to bring these awesome shows to you.
Yes.
What?
I'm just dying because you called. Lemur. That was not. That was great. It's Leo Hernandez. It's not Lemur Hernandez. Holy shit!
I'm trying to get through that quick.
Oh, Raynor, you kind of butchered that one. You kind of butchered a few of them. Holy shit, dude! I'm sorry. I had to mute myself. I was dying. Real quick, Eddie says, "Does the Ren Fair sell Roman swords?"
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All kinds.
Oh man, that was great.
Oh my god.
Okay, we got 3 tiers now. We upped it. We were asked by the Patreonies to up it to 3. $5 is a Sweet Angel tier, stickers sent straight to your door, and you get access to Ox After Dark The certified crispy tier, the certified crispy certificate on your first pledge, assistance. Holy shit, dude.
Rolling over.
My ribs are cramping up. Holy shit, I'm like dying over here. I'm gonna turn my camera off. My ribs are cramping up from laughing. This tier includes the certified crispy certificate, assistance with figure fixes by myself, and all the benefits of the previous tiers. And then we have the What a Guy $25 tier, an 18 by 24 silhouette poster that is signed by Dean and myself on your first pledge, and doubles of all the stickers we send, as well as one sculpt a year painted by Darkside Customs, and all the benefits of the previous tiers. So definitely some good stuff there. We have a mailing address, Collecting Weekly, 5886 Days of All Road, Suite 102, box number 292 at San Antonio, Texas 78249. If you want to send us fan mail, we are on Facebook at Collecting Weekly Auxiliary. It's a great group. We goof, we gaff, we laugh. And
we butchered the English language.
Dude, that shit was so. When you said lemur, I literally said
I didn't even catch it.
I didn't realize.
I feel that you really butchered, but lemur really got me. My ribs are still cramping right now. I'm like actually in a lot of pain. We have quite a few shows on the network: Auction, Collecting Weekly, Collecting Rarities, Small Talk, Joy of Hobbing, which we just put up a video today that got like a crap load of views and a new sub, so that was pretty cool. Only Fools and Collecting, Collecting Comics, After Dark, and Creeps for Us. Good stuff. But yeah, that's the network right there. And then we also have friends of the show: King Zachary, PJ the Paradox Nerd, Rogue 16, Optical 20, 6 Skill Scavengers, Brian Chris TC, and third party reviews. So we got a lot of friends that do stuff in the hobby.
They do stuff.
I'm dying right now.
All right. So anybody, final thoughts on today's subject matter?
So real talk for a minute. Can I do the Patreon and put my tortoise's name on there just so you have to read it after every show? Because that would be awesome.
Yeah, Tortilla.
You pay for it.
His name is not Tortilla. It is Voldemort.
I finally watched those movies. It's a good name. Yeah, if you want to do the Patreon, I'm down.
Just because that would be hilarious.
That would be awesome. I would be proud to say Voldemort every episode.
Still dying. My ribs are still cramping.
Voldemort the lemur.
Well, he's not a lemur. He's a tortoise. What a show. What a show.
Oh my gosh. Well,
touched all the bases today. Ren Fair orgies, watches.
Yep.
I
I
think we've outdone ourselves on this one. Just saying.
Yeah. Lemur talk.
Oh my gosh. Butchering the English language, making Shakespeare come out of the grave to kick my ass.
What a show. We touched all the bases.
We touched everything.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Save that for later tonight.
Wow.
And now we're on After Dark. All right, guys. Well, if you all got no more comments, anything else you all want to say? Anything you all want to talk about?
No, I'm good. I gotta go drink some pickle juice so I can stop cramping. I'm literally dying right now.
All right, guys. Well, I'm Raynor.
I'm Zach.
I'm Seth.
Stay rare, stay golden, and I'll catch you all next time when we talk about trains, Sheldon's favorite topic, if you all are familiar with the Big Bang Theory. So, and we're maybe joined by a certain smuggler from California.